Okay. So it's been a weird week.
Yeah.
We had our first Psychic Wave show.
That's true.
And besides not being able to hear myself for the first two songs, which is just a rookie mistake because I didn't know what I was doing, I think it was fine. And then somebody stole my guitar. Well, Enrique's guitar.
Yeah, that was really weird.
So I had we were playing and then my string broke, so I switched it. And or I switched guitars. And then after the set, the guitar was gone. And then Tiff and the Death Club girls were like looking social media through the security footage at the Continental, and they fucking found the guy, and he had his girlfriend return it. And he was claiming to be like super blacked out or something, but it doesn't matter. Like, you still stole it. You know what I mean? Sorry about the squeaking. It's super annoying.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I don't know about all that. That's just, you're always responsible for your own actions.
Yeah. It was upsetting. It was like the meanest thing anyone's ever done. To me, at least.
Yeah, I got my backpack stolen about a year ago, too. That was pretty bad. I had a $80 textbook in there. Actually, I think I had another textbook in there. I think I had two.
An $80 textbook?
An $80 textbook and I think another $50 textbook, and someone just stole my backpack.
Oh, yeah, at Laverne, right?
Yeah, and I had a jacket, too. That was a nice backpack. And
I don't remember it at all.
yeah, well, my professor was very nice. I told him about it, and he let me wait a week before I had to take the exam because I was like, I can't study. I had my backpack stolen, and I didn't have any friends that I could borrow the textbook from. So but that was nice. I ended up getting 100% on that exam, which is pretty good.
Yeah, well, you've always been good at school shit. School shit.
Yeah, I'm good when I try, but sometimes it's hard to find motivation. But I've been better at that lately.
I'm never good at that. Never. No, I mean, I am sometimes, but I don't know. It just is... I get bored. Like, I don't like school at all. It just... I could see if I was, like, interested in something and I was studying for something, but I have no interest in what they offer, and I would just feel like I was wasting money.
I've just always been very interested in politics and in science and not so much math as much, although that's cool.
Well, you've only been interested in politics for like the past 2 years. Always, no way. It was always science. You always liked science and math.
Yeah, I guess always as a 19-year-old basically means within the last 2 years.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about the show first before we get into like.
I mean, totally.
Before we get into other shit, but so yeah, because basically I want to do this podcast with you because you're the bassist in the band.
I was,
and it's the first show, and so I guess for my personal record, I wanted to like talk about it from start to finish. So that I had something to remember it by. And I think it's interesting for people to listen to, so I think it's something good to talk about. But so I got there like way early. Enrique actually brought his stuff an hour before I got there, and he put his gear in the taco room.
Really?
Like the room that had the taco truck and stuff in there, but or the taco cart, but he didn't know. So the taco guy moved his gear to the other side, to the other room, which I thought was funny. And then I met them for a drink at the Spaghetti Factory, Enrique and Jeremy, because it was like super early. And then when we got there, I loaded up your stuff and my stuff because you were still at school.
Yeah.
And then when you got off, they wouldn't let you in.
They wouldn't let me in because I'm younger than 21. And as you said, I think the security guard's boss was right there, so
Yeah.
maybe they would have let me in before. I don't know, but
I think they
especially
would
that
have.
had to look good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think just it was weird that the owner was there that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not weird that he was just there. He was like right out front,
Mm-hmm.
which like usually doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so then you had to wait outside for like an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and you missed the other bands, and they were good. But
Mhm.
I mean, I was rushing around like saying hi to everybody, figuring out like I lost a strap. I couldn't find a strap, and then it was like right where I put it. I just forgot where I put it.
Yeah, Enrique told me that the second bassist was really good, but I didn't know.
Yeah, the girl from Deep Fields. Yeah, I was running around, but I liked their sound a lot. Like,
I think I could hear a little bit of their set from outside.
I don't know how to describe their music, and that's why I like it. Like, lots of the stuff at the Continental Room sounds the same, but theirs was pretty cool.
What does the Continental Room usually sound like?
Like, lo-fi, washed out, psychedelic garage rock.
That's a very specific genre.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what it's like on the rock nights. But yeah, so then I guess I'll fast forward to when we were going on, and we get in the sound or the stage, and there's that curtain, and it's like super bright in there.
Yeah, it was really bright in there.
And then we like do a short like sound check, which we didn't do correctly because we never done one before or never done one together. And then when they lift the curtain, the lights go out. So now I went from like super bright to super dark, and I can't find my frets on the guitar. And then as soon as we start playing, it's just a wash of noise. Like I couldn't hear ourselves through our monitors. So then I was just lost the whole time, and that's why I'm like nervous to look at all the footage.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna have your first show jitters. Like, I mean, I did too. Yeah, as soon as the lights went off, I rely on I really shouldn't, but I rely on the dots on the bass to know where my notes are. Like, there's the white dot for the 3, for the 5,
Yeah, but
et cetera.
You're supposed to. It helps. It's just in case you get lost.
Yeah.
There's no like. Imagine like playing a fretless bass though.
Oh yeah, people do that, and I don't understand how.
Like the guy from the Mars Volta does that. But
where did they go?
they're still doing stuff. I think.
They haven't come out with any hits since that one hit.
The Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Apparently, John Frusciante is a member of that band. He's like a studio member. If you look on their Wikipedia, it says that he's a studio member.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that JR knew the keyboard player that passed away.
Oh.
From what I've heard, he was like a big dude and heart problems, I guess.
I think I remember hearing that story from someone else.
Could have been Enrique or... I don't know. I don't know if Enrique knew him. But, yeah.
It's unfortunate.
But, yeah, The Widow's the only song I really know by them. There's another one on Guitar Hero, but I don't remember it.
I remember a few of their songs. I'm not very good with song names, but they're pretty good. They're a really good band.
Yeah, but that guy plays a fretless bass. Or the last time I checked, he did. And it's impressive, but I could never do that. I mean, I probably could, but it would just take so much time.
It's like violin. Like my friend Steven has been playing violin since he was 5 years old. And he hates playing violin, but he's super good. He can play Paganini stuff. And
What's Paganini?
Paganini is known as basically like the Yngwie Malmsteen of violin. Like, he played super fast metal
Bless you.
metal riffs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Super, super fast. There's only 2 people in the world, they say, that can play.
Is this guy alive or dead?
He's dead. He was in the early 1800s, I think. Sounds right.
You can get a tissue if you need to. It's in the bathroom.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep. So yeah, I'll keep talking about the show then.
All right.
So yeah, the show started and I got like super lost, and then so the first song I got super lost. I had no idea if I was playing the same part that everybody else was playing. And then that song ended, and I kind of like found myself towards the end. Also, I can't hear my vocals, and when I listen back to it, I'm like, we can hear Evan sneezing or blowing his nose back there. But when I listen back to it, I'm loud, which is good because you can hear the vocals, but I couldn't hear anything. Like I was yelling and I couldn't hear myself. And then second song starts, and it goes all right. And then like a third of the way through, my string breaks. So now I can't use one of the most important strings that, I can't use an important string. And then, so I'm panicking, of course, because I got to play the song through. I can't stop and be like, oh. So I play the song through and went off to go get a new guitar, my spare guitar. And when I went into the room out of the stage, I left the guitar like on the couch there, and then I got my new one. And the guy must have seen, and that's when he fucking stole the guitar.
Yeah, didn't you say that they were looking through the security footage and you could see him peeking around the corner to see if the guitar was in there?
You didn't see any of the footage?
I didn't see any of the footage.
Here, let me show you some of it. But yeah, so he's like...
Or actually, I did see that one thing that you showed me of them walking out.
Oh,
that was it.
He's standing by the door, waiting, and like just... He looks super awkward. But so as this is happening and I'm plugging in my new guitar... Lexi from the Death Club, she comes up and starts doing like rap over like improv. Enrique's doing like improv drums and you're doing improv bass, which was cool.
Yeah, I try to fill in the space.
Yeah,
try to make
good.
it as the least amount of awkwardness possible.
That is professional. Yeah. So this is taking a while to load. I don't know why, but I'm gonna turn my Wi-Fi off because maybe my cellular is better. But yeah, so the guy in the security footage, you can see him like, and I'm about to show you, like standing there for like a couple like seconds and like just trying to like look in, and then you see him like walk out with the guitar, and he's like hiding it in front of him, and he puts his girlfriend like in front of him so that you can't really see the guitar, but you can totally tell that like they had planned it, and then they just played dumb the whole time, and eventually... within 24 hours, my friend Tiff and the Death Club girls tracked the guy down, found who he was hanging out with that night, and then once they found out who he was hanging out with, they questioned those people, and that's how we found the dude. So then Tiff called him and was like, hey dude, we have all your information and we know it was you, so you got to bring the guitar back or like we're going to get the law involved.
That's so awkward. He's just standing there.
Yeah. But, I mean, the people there in the hallway might not have known that he's not a musician.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, you could totally see him just waiting around and then just walks out of it with the guitar.
Yeah, it's super weird. Oh, sorry, there's this too. So that's us playing. I forgot to tell you to scroll through. And then you can see him and his girlfriend like start to walk through the crowd. They walk right by Mike from Iris. You see that?
I don't see him.
So that's the guy right there.
Oh, I see.
And then he walks through the crowd, and then this is them walking out. So then they walk right by us as I'm playing. It's just such an asshole thing to do. Like, I felt so, like, it's a weird word to use, but I felt, like, violated. Like, and, like, taken advantage of. Like, somebody totally stole from me. Like, while I was in the room.
Yeah, that's really,
and it was
really shady.
It was caught on like 16 different angles too. But so it's such an asshole thing to do, and the guy sent me a message, like saying that like his girlfriend left him because of it, and he's just trying to give me the sob story thing, like, oh, I was blacked out drunk, I didn't know what I was doing, like I feel so bad, I've lost opportunities and friends, and I'm like, yeah, you stole from somebody.
I think he's just trying to make you feel sorry for him so that you don't get the police involved in any way. So you'd be like, okay, you've.
But that is me going easy on him, is not getting the police involved.
Of course it is.
But my friend Tiff, she posted his thing on Facebook, and it has like his face on it, all his information. and she said basically don't. Here, I'll read it to you, which is
Did they dox him?
what's that?
Dox is like you give their phone number, their
No,
address.
not that. Just
Okay.
his name and his social media profiles.
Oh.
So whatever he has public, we made public.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not illegal.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so Tiff made a post with the security footage and like pictures of him and his girlfriend and all their social media profiles. And excuse me, her post says, "Very fortunate to post about a found thief instead of a missing guitar. This individual has the audacity to steal a guitar from very good friends of mine that performed their first show at the Continental Room. Please take a good look and do not allow him around your community and especially my community. I strongly believe a career and opportunities in the music industry is a very special privilege that many of us strive to obtain daily. If this individual had the nerve to take a guitar worth over $500,000, it's worth like $800, but if he had the nerve to take a guitar worth over $500,000, I'm sure he's all right with taking creative work from other artists. I hope this is shared and his behavior is not condoned. Please do not let this individual slide. His girlfriend and him denied and came up with multiple stories and excuses. The guitar is back in the hands of the owner, and I just lived my Law and Order dream." She like tracked him down, but
Yeah, they did a really, really good job. I didn't
it was fast.
come up with that.
It was fast. And this guy has like 9,000 followers on his Instagram, and he's like a music producer. And so like, and he was helping like other friends of friends like create an album and stuff, and now the guys don't want to do the album with him, and like that's what happens.
Of course. I mean, stealing is never an option.
Excuse me. I feel like I'm getting a cold.
No, I think everyone's getting a cold now.
But I felt at first I didn't want to like put him on blast, and then I was like, no, this guy like stole from me and like made my first show feel so shitty at the end of it. And like people were coming up to us and telling us that like that we were really good, and I just could not take any compliments because I was so upset about the guitar.
Yeah.
I was like frantically rushing around and just like, it sucked. You put a damper on the whole night. And he came there to support friends of his, and then he steals from another band that's playing the same set as his friends. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't think he was blacked out drunk. If you see the security footage, which you can see on my Instagram,
He was planning, of course.
he was like standing still. Like you don't do that when you're blacked out drunk. Like he's not like tripping over himself. He's like very thoughtfully thinking about this. Like he tried to play it off like he had no idea what he was doing, and it's just fucked up. And I don't like having beef with people, but like, and I never do because it's usually like stuff that you can shrug off. But this is so justified. He stole like $800 worth, like music. That's what I want to do. He stole like something of my passion. I don't know.
And that's like it's like half, like 1 or 3/4 of a paycheck.
I mean, depends on your paycheck, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I make more than that, but more than that for each paycheck. But it's still like, yeah, it's not cheap. Even if it was $100 guitar, or he stole my $200 Fender Squier, that's still wrong.
It is wrong.
It's
of course.
so fucked up.
Stealing is not an option. And people are concerned about what they can get away with, but not really concerned with what's right. Like, how could you be proud of yourself knowing that you have something that doesn't belong to you, you know?
I don't know. And, he's got pictures on his profiles, like, with all this music equipment and, like, lots of money. Like, he's got this one picture where he's got, like, stacks and stacks of cash. And I'm just like, you've got 9,000 followers. Do you need to steal from people, like, under you that aren't doing as well as you? I mean, it could be a front, like, all that stuff he's doing, but still.
Could have taken out all of his life savings. Could have been not his money, his parents' money or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, it's just like, you should not do that. Ever.
And taking pictures with money is pretty insane, especially if what's on the table or whatever is all of your money. Then if like a wind blew in or there was a fire, then you just lose all your money. And it's like, oh man, flexing costed me my entire life savings.
Yeah. Why flex? Like if you are successful, people know. You don't have to take out a bunch of money from the bank and put it on a table, and you don't even have to buy nice clothes. You don't have to like go get an expensive car. Like when you are doing well and you're always working towards things that make like your life move forward, people know that is flexing. Like being productive is flexing. You don't like need to be like, hey, here's a bunch of money that I've got. Look, it's like people will know if you're successful.
But there's like the
Bill Gates dresses like a dork.
Yeah,
and everybody knows he's got fucking money.
Yeah, and Bill Gates is an awesome dude.
Exactly. He doesn't flex. I've never seen him flex. He flexes by donating to charities and shit.
That's not flexing though.
I call it like positive flexing. Yeah. That's the real flexing. You want to flex? Donate $1 million to a great organization. Flex in that way.
Well, even then, I think that it's cooler when you find out like a year later or something that they did that, and you're like, what? They never posted that on social media? They didn't need to tell the world that they did that?
Yeah, that's true. But imagine think about this though, like you have all your life savings out on a table and you take a picture with it. That's flexing, right?
Yeah, of course.
But then you donate $1 million to a charity. That's flexing even harder. Say you have $1 million of yours on a table and you take a picture with it. What are you going to do with that after you take the picture?
Put it back in the bank.
Right, put it back in the bank. Imagine flexing so hard that you gave $1 million away. That is flexing so hard. If you can give $1 million away, I guarantee you he's flexing harder. Or not flexing, but like he's more successful than somebody that takes a picture with $1 million on their table.
You know, what's really cool, Markiplier, the YouTuber, he's got 20-something million subscribers at this point, but he always does charity live streams. And he'll do it like once a month, and he'll just raise an insane, like hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars for charity every month. And he'd pick a different charity every month.
Is this the guy with the deep voice?
Yes. Hello, everybody. He's super deep voice.
Yeah.
He's half Korean, half white. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I've seen some of his videos. Those are guys that got big like off of the video game stuff, right? They started doing it. Yeah, it's so funny that like I always loved video games, but I never got into that stuff. I'm only just now getting into YouTube, and it's only because I post the podcast there. And I have nothing against it now, but I remember thinking, people are watching other people play video games?
I think...
But then again, I was never an online player either. I didn't like doing that. But when it came out, it was still glitchy for me. I got like the first wave of playing online.
Yeah, but what I was saying about the charity was... It was that too, but it was something else above it. Like the one that he did this month, I think, or it was last month. He said that Markiplier. He said whatever they raised during that charity live stream, an anonymous donor was going to match whatever they raised up to $1 million.
Wow!
And they ended up getting like $1.2 million. So that guy had to fork over $1 million.
Wow!
And nobody knows who he is. I suspect that it was probably Markiplier himself, maybe. Probably, or maybe not. I'm not sure.
That's a good story. It creates like suspense and like makes people wonder, oh, who is it?
And it's also like, it's like, oh, if I donate $5, then it'll be $10 if we get to this certain.
Yeah. It makes people. Yeah.
This certain mark.
It's a good tactic.
And yeah, he's a great guy. He's donated to a bunch of charities.
Do you remember Hurricane Katrina? Like, do you remember it? I
don't remember it. I remember news that I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and
I remember watching it, or watching whatever the thing the actors like put on, that special performance where it looks like the Oscars and stuff, and they're asking everybody to like give money to help those in need. I remember as a kid, like, thinking that was like the best thing ever, like that was one of the most beautiful parts about being human. And I feel like when you're rich, you don't have an obligation to give to anybody. You don't. But if you're a good person, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that everybody that makes a lot of money needs to go give it away.
Of course. Yeah.
But I am saying that, like, you should. Like, it's good
Some
to.
of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to.
And that actually...
Or invest in things that are going to make life for everyone easier. Make your own life easier by making everyone around you happy.
And there's that one study, I forgot who did it, but I've heard a lot of people quote this, and I've heard very, very respected sources say this, and that the cutoff for money versus happiness, and like how much money you have versus how happy you are,
$70,000 a year.
it's something $70,000 a year. I think.
I heard that. I don't know the study, but I heard a guy on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
This ex-football player, retired football player, and that's how he felt. He was like, I just was making a lot of money, and you think the more money you make, the happier you get, but it's not the way it works. At a certain point, it levels out.
But the crazy thing is that the amount of money that you make starts to get you even more happy when you start giving it. When you start giving it to charities.
I've heard that, like, giving, if you, like, scan the brain, giving gives you, like, more of a brain boner than, like...
Never heard that term before.
Than, like, receiving gifts.
Like, again, to quote Joe Rogan's podcast, when, like, the dopamine levels in your brain versus a homeless person's brain, when you give them money... Like, you get more, the person giving money gets more out of it than the homeless person does. Right.
See, that's why, like, I have a problem. This is how I used to think. I used to have a problem with those people that would be like, I just gave this guy $1,000, this homeless guy $1,000, and I paid for a hotel room for a month for him. And you see those videos, right? Yeah. And I used to be like, wow, this fucking guy he just did that so he could record it and put it on Instagram. But then I thought about it more, and I was like, this is going to go viral. More people are going to see that it's cool to give.
More people are going to see that homeless people are, for the most part, good people that have either come down with some very, very hard times and don't have anyone to fall back on like you and I do. And that's really sad.
But that can change so fast.
And that can also change so fast. And, and with people that were in the military that are homeless now because of their PTSD and they're not able to readjust.
Yeah. Or like, I know that there was some period in American history where they like just shut down a bunch of institutions across California, and they had a bunch of, I don't know what the correct term for it is, but like psychiatric patients that were there because they couldn't be in normal society. And then they just didn't have government funding, so they were like, all right, let them out. Just let them out.
I haven't heard about that, but that sounds like a really bad idea.
I'm like 99% sure that happened. I think it was like it was either the 70s or the 50s, but I feel like it was the 70s.
Well, knowing what kind of stuff came out of the 70s.
I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff in the 70s, but I think there was a lot of great stuff too. I mean, I think the 70s was a reaction to the 60s. The 60s, everybody thought that like drugs and love could open up the world. And I think that I've done a bunch of drugs, and you know this, but the drugs that I've done that have felt productive, that I think have made my life better, were pot, ecstasy for a short amount of time, and LSD. And other than that, the other ones I just don't think were productive at all. And I think that in the 60s, it was mostly pot and LSD. And then in the 70s, when the whole peace, love, magic thing didn't work, everybody just decided to party. Like, party hard. I mean, not everybody, but I'm saying the counterculture decided it didn't work, and then they got sad, and they're like, PCP? Sounds good to me. And they just like kept doing it, but I don't know. I wasn't there, but I love the 60s and 70s from a historical standpoint.
Yeah, I've heard it said that the 70s was one of the best times for music and one of the worst times for movies. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I try to watch. I mean, I haven't heard that, but it makes sense to me. Most of my favorite music is from the 70s, and most of my favorite music that's made today is heavily influenced by the 70s and 60s. And if you've ever gone back and watched like 60s cult movies or 70s cult movies, like so much of it just sucks. It's like the golden era of cinema was like what, the 20s and then the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
And and then after that it was just, I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
I feel like all the movies that aren't independent films have sucked lately. Like any big budget film, like they don't capture me. It's like we're playing to the same tropes.
Yeah, especially with that Blade Runner 2049 movie.
I didn't see that, but I actually wanted to see it.
Well,
did you watch it?
I did see it. Do you want to know my opinion of it? I'll try to leave out as many spoilers as possible.
Well, I didn't see the original Blade Runner either.
Well, in my opinion, it was very, very, very boring the whole time. And there was nothing interesting. There wasn't really a story. There was nothing to hold on to. You never really knew exactly what was happening.
Had you seen the old one?
I had not seen the old one.
Maybe it'd be different if we saw the old one, but I didn't either. So,
but I've heard so many raving reviews about how awesome and amazing it is, and I'm like, did we see the same movie?
I mean,
the score was really good though at certain points.
Do you remember Aeon Flux, the movie? No. Well, it used to be a comic book or anime comic book. I don't know, but then they made it into a movie with like Charlize Theron, whatever. It was cool, but it's dorky now when you watch it. But people hated it. Some people loved it. And then like, what was the one with Scarlett Johansson? Where they made
that one with the you only use 20% of your brain.
No. That was like Lucy or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but the one where she played like an Asian comic book character.
Oh, that one. I forgot what that was called.
Or anime.
So many people were mad about that.
Yeah, but anyway, like it just usually isn't done well when you like make things new or convert shit. It just usually doesn't go well. It's hard to please everybody.
It is hard to please everybody. That's a reason why I like YouTube a lot, is because people can just throw their own really good ideas out, and
but then what about YouTube Red? Like that seems so dumb to me.
YouTube Red, the shows are, it's a new platform and they're trying something new, and it's very, very high budget, and you can tell that, and with a lot of really good footage and stuff.
Yeah.
But the shows that I've watched were very weird, and you can tell that the people writing, at least the YouTube Red shows that I've seen, were very leftist, and you can tell there was a lot of jokes about racism and microaggressions that I'm just like, I know this stuff exists, but I want to be entertained, and I don't really want to hear about this.
So you're the type of media consumer that likes to shut off, and they use media to just like not think about reality.
Well, I wanted to hear a story from like people, and like I don't mind having, or I love having a diverse cast, and that just makes a whole bunch of new jokes. But when you're inserting your buzzwords that only people that have studied what these things are will understand, then it gets a little bit lost on me.
Yeah.
Well, and it focuses too much time on that.
I couldn't even tell you the difference between leftist and rightist, and I just don't care enough. Like, it's not that I don't care about what's going on, it's that I think none of it helps. Like, it doesn't matter. I think they're trying to define like an abstract with politics, definitions change all the time. So I just don't even worry about it. I just like, I'm going to vote the way that I vote. I'm going to have the same morals and feelings that I'll have. And those might change. So I'm not going to tell you I'm on one side. I'm Andrew Sanderson.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in what I believe, and that could change. I don't have a political party.
Me either.
Because I don't 100% agree with any one thing, ever. I barely agree with myself. I'll think something and I'll be like, man, you're probably wrong. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I've changed my mind about a lot of stuff. Like I was really strongly feeling this way, and then later I'll hear some new information and be like, you know what, that makes sense. I'm gonna move a little bit over here.
Yeah, but that's what. Yeah, I know what you mean, but that's the thing. Like moving, people like want to be on a team, and I understand it, but I don't like being on teams. I like being like independent in my own decision. Like when I'm on a team, for most things, like I don't always agree with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to what my beliefs are, I don't want to like compromise. I'm gonna grab a beer, but keep talking. I can hear you.
A very interesting question that I like to ask people, like when I'm just becoming friends with them.
Yeah.
And if I know that they're into sports and they really like sports, I'll ask them, why is that your favorite team? You know?
Yeah.
And they'll usually say like, oh, that's just the team that my family likes. We always support that team.
Yeah.
And when they tell me that they really like that player, I ask them, how would you feel about that player if they went to that rival team? Or how would you feel about Mike Trout, for example, if he decided to play for the Dodgers?
Most people would hate him. Right?
Yeah, most people would hate him, even though his skills haven't changed.
Yeah. No, I know. I've thought about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people are flawed.
And I like whenever I watch the Angels play, I like Mike Trout. I think that he's a very great athlete, and it's very interesting to watch him just run and catch stuff that looks crazy.
It's you like anybody that's good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should like. But that's what upsets me about like music is the most technical players out there and the most knowledgeable people in music aren't the highest paid.
Mm-mm.
But like sports, yeah, usually the best get the most money.
Yeah, and the thing that's good about music too, it ties in with what I said before. With the bands, they usually don't switch members. Usually that singer is going to be that singer in that band, and the band is going to be the same band for decades.
Yeah.
But you don't get that with sports. They're constantly switching
but what
teams.
about like, I know Red Hot Chili Peppers is a little different because like some people died, but like they switched their stuff.
Yeah, I like
because they're already a name brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I still like the Red Hot Chili Peppers more when John Frusciante was a part of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
But however, they did really change their sound and make a certain aspect of it a lot better by bringing in that piano player.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who he is, but he's really, really good at piano, and he brings a lot to the band, and he makes everything sound different but really good. And it felt like a part that was missing in their music the whole time. And I really like that he's in the band. And I don't like the new guitarist as much. I don't think he's as good of a fit for the band as John Frusciante was.
Yeah, I don't think they should have a piano player. I mean, if I'm thinking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers that I like, the era, it's like a piano should not go in that fucking music. Like, would you ever re-record that album with a piano? Fuck no, you wouldn't. They weren't even thinking about a piano in that.
No, they weren't thinking about a piano in that, but it matches with their new album with where they're taking their music. It doesn't match back then. The piano doesn't match back then, but I think the new Red Hot Chili Peppers music is different because not all the same members are there anymore.
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to get the John Frusciante touch
It's Flea, Anthony Kiedis, and then the drummer. It's pretty much been the same for years and years.
That's been the same for a very, very long time. And then they got the new guitarist, and they got the piano player.
Have you ever read Anthony Kiedis' book Scar Tissue?
I haven't, but I've heard.
I read it in high school. It was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was entertaining because he had such a crazy life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird, like, seeing pictures of him at, like, 10 years old, like, smoking a joint. He just had a different upbringing, you know?
Yeah, I heard that. I could be wrong on this, but that Cher was really good friends with Anthony Kiedis' dad because his dad would give her drugs or something.
I don't know about giving her drugs, but I know that they were friends.
I could be wrong about that completely.
I remember his dad, they were working at a bar or they were running someplace or a party or something, and there was a pile of powder, and his dad said, "Don't touch that." Or somebody at the party said, "Don't touch that," or the bar, or wherever they're at. And he had done cocaine before, and he's like 14 or 15 or something. Anthony Kiedis, he had done cocaine, so he was like, "I'm going to take a little bit of this cocaine." And then he snorts a line, and it ends up being China White heroin, which is like the cleanest, best heroin you can get. And he was like, "That's the first time I did heroin." And I was like, whoa.
That's pretty crazy.
That's why you don't take drugs from other people. And you don't steal other people's drugs. Or even leave your drink down somewhere.
Yeah.
Like when somebody's like, "Here, dude, I made you a drink." I'm like, okay. Get my own.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to have an acid trip right now.
Just like the very, very tragic story that recently happened with Lil Peep.
Yeah. I mean, fentanyl. It's just so strong. It's stronger than heroin. I mean, by volume.
Yeah.
So it's just... But yeah, what was it? That girl wanted him to do her drugs? Did you read into it?
I didn't read into it much.
She was bragging about how, like, he gets so fucked up on her drugs, and so they brought her in, and now she's like wanted or not wanted, but like
yeah, I heard that she was taken into custody.
Involuntary manslaughter or voluntary? I don't know.
I think it would be involuntary.
Even if you were telling people you like that he gets fucked up.
Well, I think that it would be easy to prove that she definitely didn't want him to die. She just wanted him to get high and have a good time and get fucked up.
So I heard, I don't know, but I
could be wrong too.
I heard that when Jimi Hendrix passed away, that his heroin dealer that sold him that heroin made tons of money. And like people wanted to buy his heroin because it was like 3 times stronger than everybody was used to. So people are weird. They might... It's the same reason some people kill people. They do want to be the person that killed that person. Do you know
so sick.
Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, the guitarist? Somebody came to a show and just shot him.
Yeah, I know.
The guy that killed John Lennon. Some people want to be the person to kill you.
That's really stupid.
Yeah.
I guess people have always been obsessed with fame for a very long time. And they know that they're never going to make some sort of footprint in the world, that they're going to make a negative footprint just to make a footprint instead of being gone and never being talked about.
That's if you have empathy. But if you don't have empathy, then it's still just a footprint either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like the mass shootings that have been going on in America and all over the world lately. Yeah. Especially the ones that are homegrown Americans, as they call them. I think they just want attention. I could be wrong. I don't know what's in their minds.
I don't know either, man. I mean, like somebody stole my guitar, and I would never, ever, ever, ever steal somebody else's guitar. I don't care if I hate them. I just would never, ever do that to somebody else. And I can't even get in the mind of that guy. And then imagine getting in the mind of somebody that wants to kill someone. I don't get it.
And another thing for me, like when it comes to stealing, Like, I could never do that to myself. Like, I could never steal from someone else because that would hurt me and my pride and, like,
'Cause you
my
have
sense of self
a
as a
moral
human.
compass.
Yeah.
But some people do not. They don't care. Or maybe they do care and, like, they just can't stop themselves. Like, they're sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are people that are definitely like that.
Like, I don't know. And even this guy, like, he apologized to me on Instagram, and I didn't say anything back. I don't want to talk to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Like, I don't have any sympathy for you. I don't. I'm sorry. I do not. I'm not sorry. Like, you did a fucked up thing. You're whining because you did something fucked up and you got caught. And now you're facing the repercussions and you feel guilty. Maybe you do feel guilty. I don't care. That's your problem.
Yeah.
You fucked up. Like, usually I'm the type of person to be like, you know, forgive and forget. But, you know, I'm getting to the point now where, like, the things that I have are because I bought them with my hard-earned money. And, like, that wasn't even my guitar. That's Enrique's guitar. But that's a guitar I'm going to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just still, like, at a certain point, you got to stop being nice. And when somebody steals from you and they feel bad about it, boo-hoo. Like, that's one of those moments where I draw the line. I'm like, I'm not going to be nice. I mean, I'm not going to be mean either. Like, I got the guitar back, but I'm going to let everybody know that you shouldn't be trusted. And I'm going to say what happened, and I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to lie for you. And it's not my problem to make you feel better because you did something shitty.
Yeah, it's just really difficult, too, on another layer to do what you did, because I feel like if I were in your position, I would be way too scared to put them on blast because I'm so afraid of gang violence or something like that. Somebody that
I thought about it when I was going to the Continental to pick it up, and me and Tiff and Renee and the security guard and the sound guy were out front, and it was like 1 a.m. last night. Every car that went by, I was a little bit like, I started to get worried if they were driving slow because they said they drop it off and they meet us out front. So I was like, this guy could shoot us up. But at the same time, it's not like I'm not going to go down there to get the guitar. So there's some risks that you take, and that's one that I did. And if you know, here's what I have that the guy doesn't. Everybody knows who he is. If he kills me, which he should not get that upset about the fact that he stole and got caught.
Yeah, but people are crazy.
People are crazy. But here's the thing: people are crazy walking down the street. Whatever.
Yeah.
And if he decides to do something, it's very obvious he fucking did it. If he kills me, he's going to be caught immediately. So most likely, he's not going to. He couldn't even bring himself to bring the guitar back. He had his girlfriend drop it off. And she was part of it. She was totally part of it. She's pretending she's not. But, you know, like, I think he was afraid he was going to get jumped. That we were going to kick his ass. Which I would never do that. I just wanted the guitar back. But I'm not... I was not afraid of him. It's a coward thing to steal. And there's no... He didn't seem like that type of guy. But there is always the risk of somebody coming back with that violence. And I'm not afraid of the dude. I never want to fucking see him again. And I hope I never do. And I honestly hope he learns his lesson. I hope that him going through all these consequences and people like not trusting him and losing friends, I hope that it makes him learn and he never does this to anyone else again, because it made me feel like complete shit. I felt so fucking horrible and like violated and defeated and like used and like I just didn't matter. Like, people can just take my things, like, and I worked so hard and I was doing my first show and I was trying so hard, and then somebody steals from me. Fuck that. I have no sympathy at all. I don't. I wish he gets better, and I'm glad. I just hope that the consequences are gonna make him never do it again.
Yeah, the thing about that too, he's a sound engineer, right? Isn't he a sound engineer of some sort?
He's like a producer. He makes beats for like hip hop artists.
Oh.
He's got like 9,000 followers or some shit.
Yeah, but the thing about that sort of avenue of trying to make money is that it's an incredibly small amount of money, and stealing and selling stuff on eBay might be a main contributor.
It's too high risk.
Yeah, it is too high risk. And I talked to this one person who is now in the industry of some kind, making beats for people and getting millions of views. I just randomly met him because he was working at my school. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know how we started talking, but started talking to him about music stuff, and then he started talking to me about all that stuff. He was like, "Oh, you seem pretty knowledgeable about all this stuff." So we were just talking about different ways of making beats and Ableton and what to do in Ableton, and trying to sort through things that I was struggling with Ableton because he was very, very good. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that there's people that he knows that would rather die than to do something other than music to make money.
Yeah.
And that they wouldn't be able, they can't get a job other than music that isn't related to music.
I hear people say that, like, oh, good thing I made it doing this because I couldn't hold down a normal job. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I believe you, but I think that that's just a common thing to say. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you make it and you are successful in anything, in any industry, if you're successful, then you probably could have made it in any other industry.
Yeah, I think that's
I mean, besides, like, there are certain things maybe that doesn't apply to, but when you're successful, it usually just means you have an amazing work ethic. And that can be applied to a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I think that people say that because it's a very humble thing to say. Like, if you're like, thank you so much for supporting my music, and I'm so happy and I'm so blessed to do this because...
#blessed.
Because I'm not good at anything else. This is the only thing that I'm good at. And I would be totally screwed in life if I didn't do this.
Well, I think that happens too because, like, some people learn one skill. Mm-hmm. They spend all their time doing one thing, and then they get famous or they're successful at it. And then they have to say that because they're like, oh, no, like, literally, I've only ever done this. Mm-hmm. I never do anything else. I spent all my time learning this instead of other skills. Mm-hmm. So I get that, but...
Mm-hmm. But I think they, too, might also know that they could apply their work ethic to something else and be successful at that, but they're saying that because they want people to think that they're humble.
Yeah. Well, this guy wasn't humble. He had pictures of cash and, like, stuff just... Mm-mm. It's just... I don't know, man. And we all flex a little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit. But there's a certain type of flexing where it's, like, literally like, oh, here's a stack of cash. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, all right, dude. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Like, and...
But people love flexing in certain avenues, like in rap music.
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to those big rap songs,
yeah, I know.
It's 100% flexing.
It's just a fucking ad for consumerism. Mm-hmm. It's always an ad for consumerism. Somebody, I forget who said it, but they were like, when you listen to hip hop or pop music, they're just trying to make you want to fuck, reproduce, and buy things. It's always about love. They're always trying to make you horny up in the club, and they're always flexing. They're associating buying things with sex, with power. Mm-hmm. And I know that's an overgeneralization, but fuck you, I believe it. Like, money, bitches, drugs.
That's what not all, but that's what most of hip hop and pop has been about.
Yeah.
For a little while.
But then again, you could say, like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Mm-hmm. But mostly rock and roll is very... Like, real rock and roll is more about adventure.
Like, when have you heard Journey ever have, like, a lyric saying, and I got so much money in the bank, or something? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know, but, like, the reason why I love classic rock is, like, a lot of it's just about living and experiencing and being in a different place and being in love and falling out in love, but like, real love. Like, the love that hurts. They're not like ooh, baby, I love your eyes. It's like, I forget the lyric, but that one Led Zeppelin song where it's like, somewhere there's a girl out there with flowers in her hair. And it's like, I don't know, there's just something different about, there's something like it's almost like you're reading a person's journal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I love it. It's just like, it's more personal. But when you just like, damn bitch got a fat ass. It's like, dude, a lot of girls have a fat ass. They're not special. They're not special. But when you find that girl that like, oh, I just like things that are personal. I like things that are raw.
Yeah.
I don't like things super raw. Like I don't like a lot of lo-fi shit. But I love things to be raw emotion, pure and true.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes from Ed Sheeran is that people like to connect to music, but there's one thing that's more important than making sure people can connect to your song, and it's that your song is a genuine feeling, a genuine emotion, because people like things that are genuine.
It's true. I think it's very, very true. I don't know. It was a crazy week. It was a crazy week, and what was that term that I used to say? So you know how they're like, oh yeah. Okay, so hopeless romantic.
Don't know who that is.
No, it's a phrase like you're a hopeless romantic. What was mine though? I'm a cynical romantic. I forget what I said, but like, so I like to view things for how they are. I like the truth. The truth is not fun. The truth is not fun. I learned, there's so much that happened this week that I can't even say that like, when you see it, you know the truth. You can like read between the lines and it just hurts. But I'd rather know. I'd rather know. And it's just hard to, but that's what the best music's about. Truth. Just, it does not feel good, but it is at the same time very beautiful.
Yeah, and it goes into what you're saying and what I said before is if people didn't like things that were genuine, then all of those songs that only 100 people that have ever been alive would be able to understand, like those songs about these bands going on the road and not seeing their family for a long time, like those are genuine songs about genuine pain that they're feeling for doing their job, which is a very, very different job than what 99.999% of people have.
Sure, but I think
people still love those songs and they still get really popular.
I think in the 50s and 70s, 60s and 70s, maybe those songs were even more popular because lots of husbands did travel for work. And I think lots of people still do travel. So you've got that song where it's like, no, Tiny Dancer. Where is the Tiny Dancer where he says, it ain't easy loving a music man or something like that.
No, maybe he did say that, but I remember he said, "You'll marry a music man," something like that.
Yeah. No, I know, but I forget what song I'm thinking about. But it says like, it's not. Yeah, I think it's that song, but it's like it's not easy being married to a music man, and it's not. I don't know. Just a lot has happened in the past week, and it's been good. I can't even believe they tracked down the guy to get the guitar back. We did our first show. It was never going to be perfect, but we pulled through. We have amazing people, the Death Club and Tiff and everybody at the Continental that really, even though it was lost, Manny, one of the guys there, he goes, "Yeah, dude, we're really going to check into this. It's such a shitty thing that happens, but I mean, it's you. It's not like it's some random person." And when he said that, when he goes, "It's not some random person, it's you," it just made me feel like, when I felt like shit, it made me feel so taken care of. Like he would be like, "Dude, it's you. We're not going to let this happen." And then the Death Club, the girls were up all night, looking at people's profiles to see who that person knew, to see if we could find who was hanging out with them. Tiff was looking at all the footage. It was like, we have a really good group of people that we have been lucky enough to interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And that made it feel so much better. So much better. And it's just been wild, man. It's been a wild half of the year for me. But you've had a weird year too. It's just... But things are like...
Yep.
things are just... Things feel like they're falling into place. Or like something's going somewhere.
Yeah, things feel like they're going somewhere. I mean, I feel like effort is the most important thing in life.
Yeah, did we have to be here doing a podcast?
No.
Is there anybody... Are we getting paid for this? No.
Mm-mm.
But it's moving towards a direction that is good.
It's doing something productive. And I think that... like to.
When is the last time we talked for an hour looking at each other, facing each other?
I think it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
I think like as... to quote Joe Rogan's podcast again, Dan Carlin said that life is a verb, and that you have to constantly. Well,
life is a verb. You've got to constantly.
When that verb's applicable, then.
No, go ahead. Dan Carlin said what? He's the guy that does the hardcore history.
Yeah, hardcore history. He said that life is a verb, and that you have to constantly be doing things. And that you can't just sit back and wait for things to happen because nothing's going to happen. You have to do it.
That is true. You are not special. Unless you make yourself special. Make yourself useful. Be who said, I forget who said it, but they said be undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
Be so good at what you do that people can't turn away. When they need something and that's something that you do, be so good at that thing that they have to go, we have to get Evan. We have to get Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself useful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's about an hour. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Cool.
Thanks for coming on. This is the first one that we didn't cut on, so I hope the video came out. Because usually I cut every like 20, 25 minutes because the video is cut off, but I fixed the memory card.
Cool.
So I think that makes the conversation better. We'll see.
It does.
We'll see. All right, adios, people. You're not really on social media.
No, I'm not. Well, I do have my YouTube, but I'm...
And tell people your YouTube and what you do real quick while I'm... Tell them what you do.
Well, I used to make music about video games and about TV shows and stuff that I liked, but... And that was cool for a while,
You're in a rock and roll band now, bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Pirate's life for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really rewarding to sit in front of a computer for hours and hours and just yell at the top of your lungs at something that isn't even alive.
Yeah, man, you did really...
it's not working correctly.
I know you did really well at the show. Like, you're a natural at it. And it's so much better to, like, be loud. Mm-hmm. Being loud is fun. And then having people show up. We had a really good crowd. It was nice.
Yeah, having people hear your music is so much cooler. And I mean, I had a song that got 100,000 views, but I'm never gonna see their reaction to my song.
It's the reason why I've said it before, but why I started really wanting to make music with other people is because making music by myself just felt like masturbating.
Well, I think that it's even worse than that. I feel like. To me, I feel like making music alone without anybody else being there and helping you with it is like eating ice cream in a dark room by yourself while crying. It's just not a fun thing to do.
I just think about it like, would you rather like suck your own dick or would you have somebody suck your dick? Like after a while... I don't know. I just feel like you get stuck in an echo chamber.
Or you could be like Blink-182 and make a song called "You're Sick of Blowjobs."
Yeah, I fucking hate those guys, and I'm not afraid to say it. And that guy's fucking loony.
Oh, you mean the?
Yeah.
Is he the bassist or
no?
What is he?
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah,
he's the lead singer.
He's the lead singer.
Yeah. What's made you again? What's made you again?
I thought Tom DeLonge.
All the small things.
I thought that guy was the...
Nope, he's the singer.
Hello there, the angel from mine.
I think that's the guitarist.
Shadow.
I think that's another guitarist.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that guy's voice. I don't like the
No,
other
it
guy's
all
voice
sucks.
that much.
It all sucks.
I'm just kidding.
No, I liked it in junior high for like two minutes.
2 minutes.
And then it was like, all right, we need to sign off. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm
You're
sure you'll
welcome.
be on again. And we need to rock out more.
Yeah.
We got the first one under our belts. The next ones will be so much easier. But
That's true.
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Adios.